Hey, sexy man, what is up? So today's class, I'm going to be teaching you guys on compliments and how to give compliments and what it's like. So I have no agenda for this one. I just know it's been asked a lot by a bunch of the guys for how to compliment women in regards to generating attraction, and I wanted to create this video here for you. So let's get into it. So the first question I want you guys to ask yourself as you're watching this video, maybe you could write this down and pause it, would be, how do you normally compliment a woman? You're pretty, you look nice, I like this about you, I like your nails, whatever it is. Like, how do you normally compliment a woman? Now, I think the main answer to that question would be like, well, when is appropriate to compliment a woman? What, right? So one is like, well, you got compliments when you're married, you've got compliments when you're out and you're approaching, you've got compliments of random women, and you have compliments on like your lady or someone who you're seeing. One thing I think is really important, and the mindset that I like to have in regards to complimenting women, and I hope that this changes your whole brain and how you think, is complimenting, I believe, is simply celebration of the feminine. It's a celebration of the feminine, right? You can compliment feminine stuff inside men, you know what I mean? Any sort of creative and flow and creativity that you see in a guy or expression is, expression of the feminine. It's the same thing with women. But you want to get a really good ideal type, ideal grasp on being able to look at the feminine inside of women and internally compliment, right? But what the first response is that is always coming back to the process of how we use, masculine leadership and masculine social skills and social dynamics, which is firstly, it's like, what do I want after I've felt through tension, right? So the tension that you feel, let's say you see a woman in a pink short dress, she's fit, she's dressed up, glasses on, she's filming herself because she's feeling herself, and she's walking out in the sunshine, and you're just like, holy hell, it fits her body in all the right ways, and you can just see feminine energy radiant off of her. She must be ovulating or in love, you know what I mean? Something's going on there. She looks incredible. The first thing to ask yourself in that moment of when you go, wow, and you see that just radiance going through a woman, is like, how does that make me feel as a man, right? That is the first thing that you want to ask. Well, how does that make me feel? How does that lift me up? What is it about her that's radiating off of her that is like lifting me up, right? Or making my body feel, because you might feel down. You might feel, oh, I'm not good enough. You might feel, holy hell, I can never talk to that woman. You might feel, oh my God, like she is amazing, right? Same thing, like even when it comes to physicality, like I wouldn't do this without any skill or practice, for some of you guys. But it is like, you can notice like physical things as well, like a woman, like what is it about her? Is it her cheek? Is it her hair? Is it her nipples? Is it a nails? Is it a collar and chest bone here? Is it her bum? Is it her legs? Like, what is it about that is making you feel a certain way, and how is it making you feel? Now, one is the situation when it comes to compliments. I think to look about, one is the first is that, okay, what is that feeling going on in your body? And then the second part is what's appropriate and not appropriate, right? Like, what's appropriate, not appropriate? Like, is it a scene and a setting where it's appropriate? Is she available? Does she seem available and open for a compliment if you just went up and talked to her? Because women in the feminine fairyland, la di da di da, right? Want to completely support that is the best thing ever. Is there people around? What's the appropriate situation? Right? There might be the environmental cues maybe off, but if not, like, how do you want to compliment? Same thing with your wife, right? You know what I mean? It's like, you may be able to whisper in her ear, depending on the situation, but she might be around of her friends and distracted. Can she actually receive, this gift? She might be, busy doing something, cleaning, or in her own world, or actually trying to sort something out for herself, whatever it is, and it might be not a good time to deliver the compliment. So like, park it, park it and deliver it at appropriate time. So they're the first two things I'd look at. One is like, how does it make you feel? What's the tension going on inside your body? Then what is the environment? And then it's like, okay, well, how do you want to deliver this honestly and authentically in a way that's appropriate? And that's it, right? Like, that's it when it comes to complimenting women. So, but what I want to remove is anything that's could be inauthentic. And that is sometimes trusting tension too much inside your body. You might notice a woman who's like walking around, you see these big old bazoinga boobies, like boom, just hanging out, right? And they look awesome. And you're just like, whoa, and they hit you as a man, and all your testosterone and your juices get flowing, right? And that's when men go and just do the gross stuff you'll hear and be like, ah, oh, nice tits, right? The second you say that, ooh, all your masculinity and testosterone and self-containment has leaked out of your body. That is not a way to compliment. And I know you guys aren't going to do that if you're watching this video, because obviously you're in here, but I want to call it out so that when you see it in your friends or you see it in your mates and someone being like, oh yeah, nice bloody dick, you're like, man, like you can't hold that in your body. Like, keep it in, bro. It's feminine. It's beautiful. That's not celebrating the feminine. That's too far. Like, it's crossing the boundary, with the feminine. It's not celebration. If you see that and she's in her essence and like she may have like boobs out or bum out or whatever it is, or she has the way of talking, which is fantastic. Like, I'll go back to the boobs and bum thing first. How can you celebrate that in her? The second part is when you celebrate the feminine, you also want to celebrate old women. You've got grandmas and nannies and women who in your life who are elder, who have this caring, nurturing, kindness part of them that I hope that you guys have ever had the chance to experience. And it's so powerful and it's as soft and beautiful, and it's like, wow, thank you for being so kind. I was at Joe Dispenza, like the retreat event, and I got along with, there was a lot of elder women there who in their 50s and their 60s and getting close to 70s, and I noticed that those women had the best ability to be able to play with me. Oh my gosh, I had such a good time. I remember sitting at the table and we just watched a lecture that Joe was talking about of like splitting someone's brain open, and they were opening up the brain, both hemispheres, and they had this shelf thing that comes out to try to find where the pineal gland is, and they opened it up and it kind of looked like this, and then this like pineal gland stuck out there and it just looked like a vagina, and then there was a hole that they come and stuck down through that went this way, and I remember I was sitting at the table and I was like, how far can I push this? And I was talking to one of the older ladies. Her name was Stacy. She's 69 or 70, 69 or 73, one of those. What an age, by the way. And I remember looking at her and I was like, how does it feel knowing that you have 2 vaginas now, right? And she cracked up laughing, and then she started making a bunch of other different jokes, and I was like, wow, I like it that you can play with me. I like it that you can have fun with me. And that's a compliment. I'm like, oh, I feel so, like myself around you, right? And she was like, yeah, of course. We're having good chats, and then she was asking me all these questions about masculine and feminine dynamics, and I was able to give her some of my gift, and she received it really well. It was so beautiful. It was such an amazing experience. And I was like, wow, like this is a part of celebrating the feminine. She doesn't have any walls or defenses around her anymore like a young girl does, because she's sick of men trying to approach her all the time or give her attention that's gross, right? Not a healthy form of masculinity. That I was able to joke and push boundaries with this woman, and she was having the best time with me. Then I started doing with all the old ladies, and they were cracking up, and we're all making gay jokes and dick jokes, and just having a really good time. But obviously that's my field, and that's how I like to have humor, so I'm going to draw those people towards me. But that's what I wanted, right? And because of those situations, then I was able to celebrate them. Thank you for your kindness. You're so amazing. My energy is really attracted to you. I really appreciate your energy, your vibe, how you hold yourself, and the love that I see pouring out of your skin, right? I say this to these women, like word for word. I say those things, and they're like, thank you so much for saying that. And they give me the best compliment ever. And how can I help you with your business and your career? And there's these things that you got to know. Who can I introduce you to? Like it's really cool, right? And of course that's going to happen. So this is some of the benefits and the gifts that you can get from the feminine. And I was so seen from these women. They saw me in my power and would give me all of this, pour into me for my strength, and it felt really good. So what is to say there's a difference then between a woman who is like 60 and 70 years old and then the woman who is younger, radiant, fresh, and extremely good looking? One is she's just got a bit of an armor up because she has to, because one, she hasn't learnt the self-assuredness in herself, and two, like the world is dangerous out there in regards to men. So this is the other part. This is the number 3, is the safety aspect. Like one, what do you want and how does it make you feel? 2, is it the right appropriate? And then 3, how safe is she in the process of the delivery, right? And it's like, is she available or not? And then you just speak to that. Like that is how you compliment women, right? Because anything else is out. If it's not a celebration, it's not a compliment. How to compliment women, celebrate them. That's directly the correlation, right? So even when it comes to gifts or whatever it is, it's like, that's how we go. So if I was to go and approach a woman in public, right, I'll do approach a woman and then I'll do my wife, right? So you got the 2 different examples. I'll do approach a woman, on a date, and wife. So you got 3 different examples. So if I'm going to go and approach a woman and talk to her, right? And let's say, for example, I'm going to use a positive emotion, negative emotion, positive emotion, negative emotion, right? I see her in a radiance and it makes me feel negative, right? A bit like, oh God, like I got excited and then I feel, holy hell. and go up to her and be like, hey, part of my body when as soon as it saw you was like, I have to go and talk to this woman. And then another part of me thought, red flag. What's that about? That's what I would say. That is complimenting at its absolute finest, right? In terms of dating to initiate a conversation. Now, if I'm just complimenting a woman and I base off how I feel, let's say it's a woman at the cashier check, right? She's got a really sweet energy, right? What I would say is actually talking and be like, you made me feel really warm inside when I was talking to you. It was really nice. That's it. That's my personal experience. And she'll go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is starting to use receivership as well in regards to how a woman can give to you. I like how you make me feel, right? Being around you is awesome. I like who I am around you. I feel like when I'm around you, I can really be myself. Great confidence, great compliment speaking from your perspective. Now, on a date, right now you're on a date with a woman and it's something positive that you're feeling, like you're out dating, you're talking, and you know, she either makes you laugh or she speaks in a way that's, you know, quite nice, and you notice how you're feeling in your body. So let's just put myself, I'm on a date. I could say like, it's so nice, like being around you. Sometimes I get like a little bit, no, I wouldn't say this. I would say usually I feel nervous on dates like this, but I feel completely open in myself when I'm around you. It's so good. On the date, I would also mention, you know, if it's feeling positive, be like, I like how this date's going. I hope this goes somewhere. What a compliment, right? What a compliment. Another compliment is like, you got a sense of humor that I like, thank God, because that is one of the most things that I look for in a woman and a relationship, is someone who can buy into my humor and also like latch onto it. So thank you, that feels really good. Bang, another awesome compliment. I'm just going into how I feel and delivering it in a way that I think is appropriate from me. You guys might deliver it completely differently, but that's how I would say it. Number 3, it's my wife. So you use a lot of receivership. It's like, you know, this is something negative, right? So it's coming from a negative experience. It's like, I would say something along the lines of like, I'm trying to put myself into a scenario. I just had a memory of one of my ex's dads and how he would compliment his wife. If you have elite positioning, he would just be like, God, I love your tits. Like, you can get to that level. He's like, oh, I love her tits so much. Like, she'd be like, oh, stop it. It was really cute. But what I would say in regards to how I'm feeling, which is the best because that's how he feels. He's like, you know, her tits turn me on, right? She might really like that and be able to receive it at your wife. So I would say in a scenario, but this is a negative scenario. Let's say you kind of having an argument, you know, or something's coming up. It's just like, hey babe, I know there's some tension here, but I love that even in this process, I just completely trust you. Like, hey baby, even though I feel so frustrated sometimes, just know that you have my whole heart. Hey babe, sometimes I get so turned off from how we communicate and how we're talking, and sometimes my body wants to shut down, and then I just, you know, remember how committed I am to you, and it makes me feel really good. I love how no matter how whatever we're feeling is, in the end we come back together. It feels so good. You know, I feel safe around you. Another one that's negative is another one, let's say a bit frustration, be like, no, she's getting up, be like, God, you frustrate me, and it's kind of sexy. Like, I like how you react and get a little bit bitey sometimes. I know you kind of want to just, you know, I like that. So that could be a thing that you notice. Whoa, she's getting chaotic, and I kind of wanted to have angry sex with her right now. You can say that. Oh, I know you're coming at me and you're frustrated, but there's a part of me that just wants to grab you and wrestle you and make love to you right now. Like, I had to put that out there, right? If you notice that in the moment, like, God, I'd love to have rough sex with you right now. Like, even though it's tense between us. I'm just speaking from my emotion and speaking at thought of like my example and, you know, my realism of the situation. Now, I have used all of those in the last couple of months. I would have used all of those with my partner, right? And it works. She goes, oh, really? Thank you so much. That's the sweetest thing you've ever said. Like, it's really cute watching a woman melt in regards to that for how you're communicating. So let's recap this video. And I want you guys to comment below, or like once you've watched this video, go into school and post a comment and talk about it. And the thing I want you to talk about is like, okay, what did you learn, or like some examples that you could use in your current situation. Like, what did you learn in just in regards to step 1, 2, 3? I'm not going to tell you now. You can go back and watch. Spewing, and then what are some examples that you would like to say? Because if you write down just like 5 to 10 examples of compliments that you want to give a woman, and there's structure in the accelerator program. If you haven't done that, you can go and actually, we've like laid out how to do that in week 3 of the accelerator program, and you get coached on it, which is really cool. If you want to dive deeper, do that, but write them down. And oh my gosh, I think that will change the way you compliment women forever. And then go and test. We also have that as part of the challenges, is celebrating the feminine in the week 10 accelerator. So if you're not a part of that, like, you just got to jump on and learn those skills. It is absolutely incredible. But anyway, guys, big love. Speak to you soon. See you in the next one. Can't wait to read your post in school. Big love.